We're back now at 8:09, and this morning on Today's Health, a potential breakthrough in treating serious burns. Dr. Nancy Snyderman is here with details on that. Nancy, good morning to you.
Hi, Matt. As you know, for any burn patient, the scars can have phenomenal ramifications, both physical and emotional, and they can last a lifetime. In the past, laser treatment has been an effective way to reduce the effects of recent burn scars. But now, a laser procedure is offering hope to three sisters, triplets, and their 20-year-old scars. For the Berns Triplets, Trey, Jordan, and Chandra, long-sleeve shirts and makeup have been the norm since they were teenagers.
We started trying to cover our scars just because it was easier and more comforting instead of people always staring at our burns.
Burns on their faces, arms, and chests, a painful reminder of the tragedy that took place 20 years ago when a house fire took the life of their mother. The triplets, 17 months old and asleep in their cribs, survived with third-degree burns to as much as 30% of their bodies.
The first part of our lives, right after the fire, we were, in the hospital for a long time. And then once we got out of the hospital, we had to go to physical therapy every day, dealing with all the cruelty and criticism from, our peers or, others. It was really hard.
These three sisters underwent years of surgeries, physical therapy, and skin grafts to heal their wounds, but the scars from the burns remained. And then Trey, the youngest of the triplets, learned of a Florida dermatologist experimenting with laser treatment. In one case, a burn victim's scars faded with a laser procedure normally used for acne. For these three sisters, this was either a dream come true or simply a case of too good to be true.
For there to be some kind of hope for burn victims, I just felt like I needed to call.
Burn patients have been through such horrible things, and then they're left with horrible scars, and the scars can hurt and itch, and they're disfiguring. So, I think we're all kind of in it together.
The sisters reached out to Dr. Weibel, who, with the manufacturer, agreed to perform the treatment on all three of them free of charge.
I'm about to go get the treatment. I'm excited.
As part of the procedure, the laser fires tiny dots of heat deep into the scar tissue, vaporizing the scar and allowing a healthy layer of collagen to eventually regrow.
Go away, scar.
Over the course of 8 hours, doctors and technicians work on the triplets, lasering their faces, arms, and chests. In the days following the laser procedure, peeling and redness. A month later, a follow-up treatment. And then, time to heal and hope for the best.
The best possible scenario would be, for our burns to be, completely healed. And we know that, that might not happen. And if it doesn't happen, we're perfectly okay with that.
The sisters noticed improvements in the texture and the color of their scars within a few weeks, but it's expected to take about 6 months before scars look their best. Matt?
All right. I understand it has now been about 3 months since that procedure. Here again is a picture of the sisters before the treatment. And let's see how they look now. Jordan, Trey, and Chandra Berns. Good morning. Nice to see you. So, Trey, you're the one who found and heard about this doctor, right?
Yeah.
And so when she came to you, ladies, and said, look, there's a doctor, I think he's got a procedure that could help with the scars, what was your initial reaction?
We were absolutely so ecstatic.
No second thoughts?
No second thoughts at all. We were so ecstatic, jumping for joy.
And so now it's been a little while. Let's ask personally, when you look in the mirror, what is the biggest difference that you all see?
For me personally, with my scars, the coloring is definitely all uniform. The scars are so much smoother. For my...
Can you show me your arm?
Yeah,
because,
sure, I'll show you.
Okay, so where do you notice the biggest difference on your arm?
Well, mainly right here is the biggest difference. It was I don't want to say rough, but it was a lot thicker, and now it's just really smooth. And especially right here, for a lot of people, scars can affect their flexibility.
Mobility, right, yeah.
And so the UltraPulse really helped lessen the thickness of my scars, and I have more flexibility now.
Trey?
Yeah, well, I can say the same thing. My scars are a lot smoother and the texture is a lot better. So I can definitely tell the difference.
So you love the changes that you see in the mirror.
Yes.
And Chandra?
Definitely the same for me. My skin is a lot smoother, great texture. And we're halfway through the healing process. We still have more time to go, and we're so excited to see, the results we're gonna see, in the next few months.
You were a little cynical about this, weren't you, in terms of the amount of time, Nancy, that had passed between the original injury and the treatment? 20 years.
I mean, usually the sooner you get to a burn patient, and we've made phenomenal strides over the last couple of decades, the better. But when you take scars that are 18, 20 years old, it's healed, they're scarred, and these guys know how stiff and inflexible that tissue is. So to take a laser treatment that can get through the scar, soften it, and then most important, stimulate that collagen that's way, way, way deep and allow it to come to the surface, it's really quite remarkable. And the social stigma of walking around with scars on your body is unbelievably difficult for most people, especially when you have 3 beautiful girls.
Well, okay, but let me ask you all about that, the emotional side of forget what you see in the mirror now. What's it done for you emotionally?
Emotionally, just knowing that there's actually a treatment out there that can, change the look of our burns and hopefully heal them completely is just, that in itself is just an amazing feeling.
And also just knowing that there's hope out there for other burn survivors to help the appearance, that's just really good to know.
But you've heard it over the years, and I'm sure people have said this to you 1,000 times. They say it doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. The person you are is based on who you are on the inside. And yet that doesn't quite cut it for you, does it?
That's true. It doesn't matter what you look like, but I think every person, if they have a flaw, they want to do something to try to fix that.
But for most of your lives, have you found yourselves covering your arms with long sleeve shirts and avoiding
not our entire lives. When we were growing up, we didn't notice that we had burns. We were regular children. We went out and...
Other kids weren't cruel?
No. Growing up, the people that we grew up with, all the children, they pretty much knew what happened, so everybody pretty much accepted it. But once we got into high school, that was a time where we were meeting new faces and not everybody knew what had happened to us. Started becoming a little self-conscious.
Sure. Will you come back after you have another treatment? Is that true?
Yeah.
Will you come back?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. It's great to meet you
Thank
three.
you very
Good luck.
much.
All right. And Nancy, thank you for bringing us the story. You can read more about the triplets in the June issue of Glamour magazine.